Listen, right now you could be only a few clicks away from experiencing something amazing, something that has changed thousands of lives all over the world. I'm talking about a high consciousness field similar to those at pilgrimage sites and sacred places. It's where people go to heal, to connect, and to become the best possible version of themselves. With FLFE, you can bring such a high consciousness field into your home right now. It's a spiritual quantum technology based on the work of Nikola Tesla. Better sleep, more energy, greater well-being, improved finances, electrosmog mitigation. These are only some of the things people on the FLFE service are experiencing. Try it now for 15 days completely free of charge, no credit card needed. Just click on a link down below to start your free, no strings attached FLFE trial right now.
Purpose throughout history has been to teach a small number of people how to become adept at controlling everyone else. Their goal is to destroy all existing religions save theirs, all existing governments save theirs, and shackle the mob in a system of eternal oppressive debt chained to a computer for the rest of their life, in a propagandized world to make them believe that they are happy in this system. Now, do you think they're succeeding? Haven't I described to you just now exactly what is going on in the world today? The American people don't understand their enemy. They don't even know what's happening. There's a method to their madness. There's really not much method to yours, because you're operating from a place of ignorance. And until you change that, you're going to be bumbling around, bumping into each other, saying and doing the wrong things, not understanding the nature of your enemy. And if you don't understand the nature of your enemy and the weapons they use, you cannot fight that enemy. You can't fight the battle. You shouldn't even be on the battlefield.
I dare you question authority. I'm saying that the man that we read about in the New Testament, the one called Jesus, if he taught us nothing, it was to question authority. Because anytime you give away your spirituality and your authority, and you do it yourself, you know, no one comes and puts your hand behind your back and forces you to give up your spirituality and your individual freedom and your right to be a human being and decide for yourself. You do that yourself. And when you do that and you give up your sovereignty to the government, to the church, to a religion, to a book, to a concept, to anything, you are enslaving yourself. All I'm asking the public to do is do a little research. See if what I'm saying is wrong and judge for yourself. I'm not advocating. I'm not running for a political position. I am directing my comments and my work only to a select people, only to select few. And that is those who really care about their lives, those who really care about the country they live in, those who really care about freedom, liberty. And I believe that the most important thing one can do is to educate your mind first, because that's where real freedom is in the intellect, spiritual and intellectual freedom. And without that kind of freedom, things you don't understand, things you don't know, not being able to read symbols, that's where they have you.
Hey, Inspire Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers, my fellow truth seekers, thank you so much for tuning in. It is Wednesday, May 8th, 2024. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. Let's keep the winning part. Let's let the winning part out just for today, okay? Parentheses, whatever. I see Barb in a live chat. I see Black Sky. I see Rob, Corbin. I see Ronnie. So good to see you. Charlotte, thank you so much for your contribution. Sharon Gardner. Some of these names like Black Sky have been around from the very beginning. Wonderful, wonderful to see you all. Thank you so much. Dave Frog is here, also been here for a very long time. Angela, welcome everybody. All right, let's dive into it. This is part 4 of the end of religion as we know it. Today, we're going to deviate just a little bit from the Bible study, if you will. There's a lot, I'm preparing a lot on that. That's going to be absolutely fascinating, and we're going to go into that more. But today, I want to talk about the trend, the new, it's not that new, it's been over the last years. There's a really huge trend for celebrities to return to Christianity. And I want to unpack this a little bit. And before I do, and a lot of it's going to be my observation and opinion. I certainly can't say I know for certain. But before I do, I want to make sure that everybody knows that I have full respect for everybody's self-determination. And if that's what people want to do, and if that's where they feel at home, wonderful. I have no beef with that whatsoever. And who am I to judge that? What I'm doing is exploring this within the greater context of what I have learned and researched over many, many years and decades now, and how it fits into the big picture and what I believe this is about in the general sense. Okay, so now let's dive into it. Especially since the COVID era, many celebrities and truth speakers in the freedom and truth community, truthers, whatever you want to call them, have openly returned to Christianity. They've been, if they hadn't been baptized before, many of them have, they've been baptized again, and they have committed their life to Jesus Christ. Now, there's no way for me to say that what I'm about to share can apply to any of these people. What I'm saying is it does not surprise me given what the goal is of these New World Order dark forces. And what is their goal? Okay. It is very simple. It's been stated many, many times. They want to get rid, just like Bill Cooper said in this clip, they want to get rid of all religions, major religion, whether that's Hinduism, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, you name it, everything, and to keep or to introduce to the broad public the Luciferian doctrine. That was the goal. I mean, there's books after books written about it. It's put out there. This is no secret. The question is, how would you do that? How would you bring down institutions, belief systems that have defined society for thousands and thousands of years? And this is part of what I'm seeing. So why are so many people returning to Christianity? Why is that happening? And I'm going to take a little more of a sinister approach here than the spiritual one. I'm sorry. I understand that people have a spiritual yearning and longing, and they're looking for the real and the truthful thing. And I think that's why so many are getting baptized. They're finding their home, their spiritual home. I get that. But there's another side to this. So the way that this system was built, the entire system, and it's all of this construct, this matrix, if you will, the operating system of this matrix is religion. Even though atheists live in it and thrive in it, materialistically speaking, but the operating system is religion. That's what the fabric of society is made of. Religions were constructed, to a large degree invented. I'm sorry. This is where we get into this part where I know a lot of people are going to shoot at me. I get that. But religions were invented and constructed to control man. That does not mean, and if you've been here for 2 days, you know this, that I do not have an absolute knowing of a prime designer and creator. But the prime designer and creator, the way that I experience this prime designer, is not the one in the religious text, not whatsoever. Maybe in some instances you could say this might refer to that, but that's not how most of these religious texts were written and why they were written. We're just discovering that they were something else. So everything that we experience in our reality, the political system, scientific system, medical system, food system, you name it, everything is a false idol. Do you know the story of the false idol? So the false idol is not coming about by coincidence. We were led away a long time ago from truth, authenticity, from our true expression, who we were, what the realm was that we were living in. We were led away from that, led astray by design. And we were introduced slowly but surely to false idols. It had to happen this way. So uh, how they tried to do it was through our pride, right? They tried to inspire pride in us, and they tried to bring out all these lower frequency emotions so they could lead us to false idols and false systems. And look at what we live in today: the artificial system of the economy, the artificial system of politics, the artificial system of science. It's all an artificial system that serves itself. But if it were to go away tomorrow, life would not cease to exist. Only the system would cease to exist. But they built these false systems up and made generations and generations and generations of people invest their entire life energy into them. So when they were ready for the final showdown, the end game, which is where we're in, they will tear all of those systems down themselves. Like I have been saying, they built them, they tear them down. The only purpose is to keep people or put people in a state of disillusion, despair, and hopelessness, because they were so invested in these systems that now that they're all proven to be fake, false, and wrong, people will lose their minds, like they are already, as they're discovering the truths about these systems one by one. So how does religion fit into it? Well, it's the fabric of everything. It's the underlying fundamental fabric of everything. But here's the story, and I can only now speak like I've been today on, if you were on Locals with us, this is sort of a version of that live stream. Religion is for many people, in the Western world, Europe, North America, religion is the first frame that we're all sort of born into. For many people, even atheists, it's the cultural frame that we know, that is sort of defined through religion and the Bible and whatnot. A lot of people, they become skeptical as they grow up, as they go through their rebel years, the teen years. They turn away, and either they become what they think they become atheists, or they become seekers. So they go and discover Buddhism, they discover other belief systems, and they find something here and something there. Then they maybe go to a more new age approach to everything. Maybe they go into scientism, the religion of science, and that's their thing, right? We've seen this in the 2021, 2, 3, 4 years now. A lot of scientisms. And ultimately, they turn away from Christianity. Again, I'm speaking about our cultural circle here. I can't speak for Asia. I can't speak for Africa. I'm not there. I don't have insight into that. They turn away from it. And then a lot of times now, through the last years, what has happened is people are discovering that all these systems that they were invested in, the scientisms and the medical system and all that, they're seeing the lies in it. They're seeing they can't trust the government, it's false. They're seeing that the financial system is fake, it's false. So everything that they sort of relied on and sort of believed in is crumbling in front of their eyes. So what do? They remember the first frame they were in, and that was religion. God, and it's still there. So here's the thing, because it's still there, because it's been here for so long, they say, well, it must be right, it must be true. A lot of people have experiences that lead them there, so I don't want to say that's wrong in any way. I'm just explaining a principle here. So then they return, they get baptized, they find their denomination that they feel at home, they have a community, they have a church, and finally a feeling of belonging again, not being lost and lonely in the world. I get that. Everybody wants that. That's human. And it might be a really, really good thing. However, if what I have and many others have studied over such a long time is true, they're going to find a way to tear down Christianity as well. They're going to find a way, and they're going to do it in a way that even the most adamant believers will have doubts. This is why I think it's so important for us, while this event hasn't happened yet and this hasn't fully started yet, why we need to examine the roots of religion and discern facts from fiction and take out all the man-made manipulation, take out all the crap that's been put in there, and see what essence remains, which I think is spirit. Spirit remains as eternal truth. We are eternal beings, infinite beings, all that ever can be. And this is my preliminary conclusion. I'm not saying I have the truth. What I do know is that by going into the language of the Bible and going as deep as we can with what we have, we don't know, but what we know for sure is that what the Bible has been translated into and what people have been led to believe is not true. And it's interesting to note that for a long time, the church, which was in charge of everything, the church, it was not allowed for you as a peasant to read the Bible without the guide of a priest. Of course not. To this day, you have different versions of the Bible for scholars and for the general public. They say different words. Where the general public reads God, the scholar Bible says the Elohim. Okay, and we're going to go again deeper into that in probably the fifth part of this. But what I see happening, and here's where the celebrities come in. I can't say who is a player and who's for real. I can't. But what I can tell you is that when a big celebrity like Russell Brand goes Christian, a certain section of his viewers and long-term viewers will follow just because he does it, and others will at least be intrigued to peek more into it. And from the church's standpoint and from the Bible scholar standpoint, this is the return of the sheep, right? This is the return of the flock. I think there's something more sinister going on here, and I do think that we have to take back our sovereignty over our own perception, our own conversation with creation. We have to take that back and not let translators get in the way of it, not let interpreters get in the way of it. I can't put my faith in a book that was rewritten thousands of times, where stories have been stolen from other cultures, and where it's said that the other cultures were wrong, but the stolen, copied version is God's truth. I can't do that. I can't. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I can't. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you know, you can't unknow. But at the same time, this is such a nuanced conversation. I don't wish to imply that having a spiritual life and turning your life into spiritual life is in any way, shape, or form wrong, and how you do it is wrong. I can't judge that. All that we're doing is discovering truth, authenticity to the best of our knowledge. I think that this Christian revival, there's a core of people that have a true connection. They have the true connection, and that's where they go, and that's where they find themselves. But there are so many others who found that because of the fear and the uncertainty of the COVID years. They were so scared. They were so full of fear. And that was something that they knew was there when they were children. They knew it was there before they came here, and it's been here for such a long time. So they say, this must be the one thing that is true. And then they enter a community. And first they do it spirit first, but then it becomes doctrine, then it becomes convention, then it becomes tradition, then it becomes all these other things, then it becomes the business side of it. And then you are deeply entrenched in this thing, not everybody, but a lot of them. and the teardown is coming. None of us built this system. We wouldn't have built it this way. It makes no sense, by the way. It was built to get all of our life force, all of our attention, all of our energy, and feed it. And for us to become so invested into it that when they tear it down, we have nothing left. That's what it was built for. This has been a long buildup, a long one. And the end game is where we're in. So when they pull that religion rug, this will have to go fast and this will have to go smooth, or all hell will break loose. So will we see appearances in the sky of the true God? Possibly. The technology is there. It's not hard to do, right? I mean, there's things you can buy and use in your home that are so realistic. If they want to, they'll find a way. And the only way for people to at least question it is to know that such a plan exists. Such a plan has always existed. And at the very core, the church as an institution, the Vatican as an institution, they have none of the qualities that they attribute to Jesus. None of them. There's good people everywhere, but the system is the system. It's how it was built and who controls it that matters. So the end of religion as we know it is coming either way. The question is, will people get completely shocked and caught off guard and be hopeless and in despair and mad? Or will they take that journey now while there's still some time left and it's still calm and quiet comparatively, and discern? There are so many people that I know that take every word they've ever read in the Bible and the way it's been interpreted to them as everything. It's everything to them. And if we only translate it correctly, it means something completely different. I don't know how and what exactly will happen. What I do know is that this new trend, the return to Christianity, this bringing home the flock of sheep, to a certain degree gives me an uneasy feeling. I smell inauthenticity in it, not in everything. I see a lot of authenticity too, but from those who are leading the charge, I see and feel and sense inauthenticity. I think it's a psyop. This is one that, people have said to me and said to us, you shouldn't talk about this. You're literally bombing your own work here. But how can we not talk about the things that we see, the programs that we find, the constructions that we observe? How can we not talk about it? How could I put popularity or whatever over what I find? How would that be authentic? How can I just sit back and pretend that I'm not seeing what I'm seeing, or pretend that I'm not finding what I'm finding? I found this story about the destruction of religion a long time ago, and it took a long time to realize the ones who built the construct of religion are ultimately the ones who are going to tear it down. But the way that it was all going to unfold, who could have imagined a Christian revival right before the end game? Who could have imagined Russell Brand going getting baptized and holding a cross with Jesus on it? I mean, come on. Who could have imagined all these people going back? Who could have imagined? I don't know if y'all are familiar with Doreen Virtue. She was as new age as you can get. And I'm not pro any of this, right? I'm not saying this is better or this. I'm just saying she was as new age as you can get. And she switched over to being a Baptist now. Okay. But what Jordan Maxwell so beautifully said in the intro, the late Jordan Maxwell, who brought us a lot of things to think about and examine, right? What he said is, take back your sovereignty over all your thoughts, over all your feelings, and especially, he didn't say it, but especially over what you perceive to be spirituality. Take that back, my friends. You ought to. If we don't, we're gonna get psyoped. This is where we are now. It's so unprecedented. There's such a the air is so thin, and you know, we see this, that people fall away. They fall away in all areas of life, because that is the straw that does break the camel's back. And as I've said before, we have a very, very ironic, and sort of the irony of life is playing out here, that you and I, most of us, are really of the opinion, or we feel that this whole entire system that we live under is an enslavement system. It was designed to enslave us. So we're trying to bring it down and create something new. That's sort of in a nutshell. And the builders of the enslavement system are doing the exact same thing. We just have a different version of what that new will be. There is this ultimate, absolute, unshakable control over everything and the end of man as we know it. Ours is a way out of this matrix into what we might call prime reality. So we are we're working. It's like isn't it ironic? We're working on the same things. We're examining the untruths and bringing down whatever is not truthful and authentic. But then we're going in completely opposite directions. So I don't see how the religions will survive this. I don't know how many years or decades we're talking about it, but I don't see that at the end of this century, any of the religions that are here today will still be here in the form that they're in here today. One way or another, they have also been the source of warfare, disputes, the most horrific atrocities committed in history. There's nothing that will give people permission more than organized religion to commit some of the worst crimes. And, you know, whatever your religion, it's interesting, whatever your religion absolutely forbids you is legitimate in war and in the war against the unholy people. And to this day, you will see this, you will hear it in the language. Just listen how Israel's Netanyahu talks about the non-Jews, you know, and or listen how the Hamas people talk. Or it doesn't matter. It's not like it's all the same game. It has just different flags. It's all the same game. To a large extent, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are built around the Bible. Those are the texts it's built around, or whatever version of those texts. So what I think has been happening with every reset in the last hundreds and thousands of years, hundreds and a couple thousand years, with every reset, they have made changes to improvements to perfect their control system, to the religions, to the religious texts. They make those changes and then they distribute it, make those changes. Until now, I don't think this reset that we're approaching is about that. It's about the teardown. It's about end game. It's about finality. And I can see a lot of people being fine with it, but I also see great despair in many others. I've grown up around deeply religious people that everything, every breath they take is built around the God of their Bible. And if that was somehow to be taken away, I don't know how they'll survive. I don't know. But here we are. That's what we're talking about. And I don't want to accuse any particular celebrities because I don't know. But the trend in and of itself is peculiar to me, very peculiar. And it says end game to me. That's where we are. In the next edition of this, The End of Religion as We Know It, we're going to dive a little deeper again into the Bible, explore, and also give you the proper vocabulary. And it's interesting. We'll do that where you replace a few words with the correct original words, or at least the correct translations. You replace those and then you reread the Bible. Good Lord. It's a new book altogether. All right, my friends. Also, thank you so much for your orders. The Truth Seeker shirt here. I think it's available for another 12 hours or so. Thank you all so much. I love the beautiful comments and the emails we've received, and just the sheer joy. We're all truth seekers, and we're going to continue to do that. But thank you. This is a limited edition, 12 more hours, and then it's going to be gone. And thank you all for being here with us and for exploring these difficult subjects. Trust me, it's difficult for me to talk about. I have a lot of friends that are, a lot of friends. There's a lot of people that I know feel so deeply about this, and they think it's blasphemy for me to question it. I'm not questioning the creator. I'm not questioning a prime designer. I don't think you can look at, whatever you perceive creation to be and don't think there is a designer of this, an intelligent, beautiful. I'm questioning everything that was man-made and man-manipulated, and that includes the Bible. That's what I'm questioning deeply. And I know at the end of this year, the list of people who want to spend time with me will be quite shorter. I can tell you that. I already know it, and it's already happened. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll be back with you again very, very soon.